dialogue, doesn't it? If we're gonna agree on one perception or one interpretation, then that requires dialogue between all three of us to discuss what that tree looks like, what the characteristics are.
Is that how we get naming though, like scientific
That's how
naming
we
for
come up with
things?
schemas of things, do you think? By
Well,
by,
just like
by getting around and talking about it?
well, okay, I guess it comes back to like I just take everything back to science. You know how like things have scientific names?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how they came about? Is people dialogued of what to name that thing, and then everyone agreed?
Or whoever discovered it. The first thing I'm thinking about, like Darwin and stuff like that.
Right.
Someone who saw something for the very first time, he didn't go in there with names in mind and say, okay, I'm going to call it this and this and this. Maybe
he had a concept and it was named later on.
Yeah.
So, like Pluto not being a planet anymore. Let's take that, right?
Dumb down Pluto. Don't down Pluto.
Okay, so they had this concept of what planets were, and for the longest time,
They thought that was a planet.
they thought that was a planet. But I guess people came together and had a dialogue about
Right.
And this
What should be the definition of a
wasn't.
planet, right?
yes, and they decided that Pluto wasn't a planet.
Mm-hmm.
So would that be like what you're talking about by naming things?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, because
So then, it's not completely consistent then. Because you said that tree's always going to be a tree. What if people get together and discuss that? Oh, that's not really a tree. It's a bush.
Maybe we are.
But-
Maybe
but
we're
wait.
using the wrong word then.
But in true reality, like something is what it is, right? Do you get what I'm
Something
saying?
exists for the sake of existing,
Hold on.
not for.
Like, what do you? I get your perception of
Mhm.
things and how everyone sees things differently, but how do you tie that into a true reality? And
No, now I'm rearranging my concept now that you're bringing this up because, well, maybe all we can do is agree on one perception and one interpretation. That doesn't make our interpretation or perception anywhere closer to reality. It just means that we agreed on an interpretation or
so
perception.
how do we tie this back into
Okay,
this?
yeah,
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
How
that
do
makes
we
a lot of
so
sense.
tie that back into this book and the oppressed and being oppressed and like obtaining freedom?
Well, maybe all that we're striving for is to find a common definition of freedom. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And maybe objective freedom is unattainable, but
Because okay, so the objective reality are all the abstract ideas we have, like of freedom and liberty,
right.
right?
So you're kind of meeting in the middle, like the oppressor will, give up a little bit of his rights to give the oppressed a little bit of their rights.
Essentially,
I
we
think
want
they require that.
So there's no true freedom or true reality. There's only meeting in the middle.
There's a-
No. I
there's
think
a true reality, but because we view things subjectively,
We're never going to obtain it.
it's
Mm.
really hard to obtain. I would say.
Right. Okay.
So
we
we're just merging subjective perceptives together to make a new one.
I
we're
think
just trying to agree on something.
I
That's all
think-
we're trying to do. We are all trying to agree on our own one definition of freedom, and we're going to act that out. We're going to act that freedom out.
I think objective reality. Okay, there's objective reality, like it's a circle, right?
Mhm.
And then it's
Circle.
it's the shape of a circle. No, and so our perceptions fall within the objective reality and make up objective reality because you have to have people with all these different personalities and different views to cause action within this objective reality, right?
Can we start speaking like freedom and not freedom? Because I want to tie it into this book. Like I get what you're saying in
Okay.
the abstract idea, but we should tie it to this book so I can like
Okay, so like
put,
freedom.
put titles on stuff.
Okay, so
I'm a little lost.
Okay, so then freedom would just be little bits and pieces of what each individual believes is freedom,
Mhm.
and you just come together, and it would be the most common form of freedom, the most common belief of what freedom is,
Would be
a
what
democracy.
we're striving for.
All right.
Well, that's
All
what-
right. I'm a communist.
Is that?
Right. How are we going to meet in the middle here? How are we going to do this?
No, I don't. Okay, I get it.
Okay.
But so pretty much we're saying there's no true, actual reality of freedom.
That's not what we're saying.
We're saying it's just hard to obtain.
We're saying that it exists, but that
We're never going to get there.
Exactly. Or that's most likely.
So this book gives people false hopes.
How does it's putting information out on the table about
But,
how you can attain closer.
I don't think our goal should be to obtain objective freedom. I think what our goal should be is to obtain an agreement on subjective freedom.
Okay,
Right?
yeah, I can see where
Right?
you're coming from there.
About by meeting in the middle.
Well, yeah, it would require like.
If you keep meeting in the
Giving
middle and
stuff
keep
up.
meeting in the middle and keep meeting in the middle, the closer you get to this abstract form of freedom.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Because that way,
Um,
eventually you both will be on a level playing field and you will both have equal freedoms. But these freedoms will be limited. Because
because what you said earlier that
Yeah, everybody has to give something up.
Yeah.
because otherwise you impose on someone else's freedom.
Yeah.
AKA murder Aussie.
So then how does like culture and stuff come into effect
The
here?
themes
The themes like culture.
aren't
Wait,
themes aren't.
can we check something? Can we make sure the camera's still going?
Oh, okay.
It's still recording.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we're not losing any of this.
No, yeah, the little red light's still on.
We good? We have enough memory and all that?
Well, I don't know.
Oh my God, Catherine.
I've never. Oh, how? It doesn't even tell. Ozzy, you can't see anything. You just see the red light.
It's going, it's going.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, so how does the theme of culture kind of tie into how we perceive reality? Our perception of reality.
I would say that our culture influences our perception.
I think so as well. I think that
Yeah, because I think that's just what you know and how you see things. That's how you grew up in your past.
so then how is this basic theme like what does he mean by what is it?
I didn't understand the themes. Are themes something that help you perceive reality a certain way, or are there things that are like I don't understand how themes come into play. Do they come into play in perception? Like culture is a theme because it affects how you perceive people.
What page was that on? 120.
123 was the culture theme. Like, they express their level of awareness of reality, in which various themes are implicit. These aspects in turn involve many other themes. Well, I just keep going back to her tuition example in class. So like, what does tuition mean to you? What does it mean to me? What does it mean to Maria? And then based off that, we find themes. Like, would it be hardship? Just because it's hard to afford the school and pay that? Like, is hardship a theme? Because tuition is not a theme, but would hardship be one?
Right. And tuition would be the thing you're applying the theme to.
Right.
So like if I were struggling financially, then yeah, it would indicate hardship. Tuition would indicate
And that would be a
hardship.
theme.
Right.
So we're applying the theme culture to perception.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how we would go about.
Okay.
Then I don't know where we were headed with culture.
I don't know, I just thought we should talk about themes.
Just throwing the word out there.
Theme. Well, he has several. But culture just stuck out in my head just because I think it's like,
Oh, that's where codification comes in. Codification is being investigated, right? That's where we turn the
concrete.
concrete into abstract.
That's decodification.
Decoding is concrete to abstract. No.
So yeah, decodification is the abstract to concrete.
I thought it was the other way around.
I want to go back.
Culture and perception. We have been going for, it's 256.
Decoding requires moving from the abstract to the concrete. It says decoding requires moving from the abstract to the concrete.
Oh, so I had it the other way around.
So then coding, I would just say, is from the concrete to the abstract.
Yes.
So when you're codifying something,
You're taking something concrete like tuition
Mm-hmm.
and putting it to an abstract form like hardship. Right?
Yeah,
Because
that
hardship
makes sense.
is-
That makes sense.
okay.
Yeah.
So then
So that would
we
be
use themes to come up with a common abstract idea in order for us to identify the problems or
So
To
do
me,
we
well-
use culture? So culture is the concrete thing, and perception is abstract.
yeah, I think
So we would
because
use
perception is a very abstract
so we would
concept.
use our different backgrounds and our different cultures to have a common perception, to like merge them together to get a common
We
perception.
would all talk about our cultures.